look, we got D-Jack back.
We did.
So,
very excited about that.
I am too.
Yeah.
That's going to give you somebody to work with in practice.
Got to get my hamstrings warmed up before practice.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So we were just talking about community, and we're talking about how you can relate and translate the athletic preparation to the business world. And I think it's important for our younger listeners to understand that there's a lot of relatable traits, a lot of discipline between the both that you can translate back and forth. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, 100%. I think one of the biggest things that I've done, and I think that when we're talking about these younger kids, what they should probably do, try to get under somebody's wing. You know what I mean? An older person who's been there before. I know when you're young, you're growing fast. You think you know everything. You're the smartest person in the world. You know, no older person can tell you anything. But I think one of the things that you should do is try to get under somebody's wing. Somebody who's been there before. Somebody who's in the position that you want to be. You know what I mean? I think you should try to learn as much as you can, as fast as possible. And that way, when you come in with adversity or somebody embraces you with a certain situation, that it's not too difficult for you to handle, that you can say, okay, I have a little knowledge about this and I can handle it how I want to.
You know, I think we talked about this before. So in my volunteer life, I chaired the board of the Boys and Girls Club of Camden County.
Okay.
And what we knew during that time was that there were more ninth graders in the city of Camden than 10th, 11th, and 12th put together.
Wow.
So we knew that we were losing kids after ninth grade, and our mission was to try to find a way to help them be successful. So at every gala or every event that I would MC, I wasn't a real original guy, so I kind of went back to my favorite quote. President Clinton, in his book, wrote about the fact that every single one of us had helped to get to where we are, and to our job, our debt, is to repay that by helping somebody else. So let's talk about some of the ways that you've done that, because I know you feel the same way. I know you feel very indebted to those that have helped you get to where you are. So how do you give back?
Well, I have my foundation back at home, Jalen Mills Foundation. And it supports inner city youth. For the past 3 years, you know, I've thrown a totally free football camp. Of course, we have sponsors and things like that, but totally free football camp. We don't turn any kids down from ages, I want to say from 6 or 7 to about 15. You know what I mean? Totally free. The kids come out, you know, have fun. We teach them fundamentals of football, have different type of competitions, you know, get the kids involved. We have dance-off battles, have a fastest kid at the camp awards, you know, just kind of get the kids out the house, you know what I mean? I'm from, like you said, I'm from Dallas. A lot of kids do look up to me. And when I was young, I never got to hang out with a NFL football player, you know what I mean, or got to go to an NFL football players camp, you know what I mean. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I do. I just try to give back to the kids, throw a free football camp, let the kids come see me. After we won the Super Bowl, I brought my ring, and let them see the ring. They were all wild about it, but that's just one of the things that I do for sure.
You keep that ring pretty tight on the finger, though, right?
I have to.
It drags you down a little bit, though.
Yes, it does.
Good.
It's a good problem.
We need more of those, though. We need more of those.
100%.
All right, good. So that's your foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've witnessed you in the community.
Yeah.
Darvis Holly, the assistant principal at the Helen Fort Middle School out in Pemberton Township in Burlington County, New Jersey, arranged for you to go out and visit with his students. And I had an opportunity to be there that day. It was on their football field in their stadium.
Yeah.
It was like 200 degrees that day. I was out there, and I'll never forget this. I was out there in a gray suit with a pink shirt on, and I looked like I literally got out of a swimming pool by the time we were done out there. In fact, I didn't wear a hat. As we talked about my hair earlier, my head was the same color as my shirt by the time we were done. But do you remember that? Remember that event?
I do.
And you give back, but that day you were giving back too, right?
Beautiful picture. Painted a beautiful picture.
Tell our listeners about that.
Yes. Went out to the school, you know, got to talk to the kids. They were really, really excited. And like you said, I went to the school, talked to the kids, and they gifted me with a picture, beautiful picture that I have right now in my house on my wall. I look at every day.
And it wasn't just the kids that were excited, because if I remember correctly, There were a bunch of staff members there, male and female teachers that were chasing you down. A couple female teachers you may have needed restraining orders against. One who started referencing somebody else with a different color hair that plays for a different team that we won't mention.
No, we're not mentioning.
But, you know, that being said, the excitement that was out there for the kids to see you, how did you feel getting that from the kids?
I love it. You know what I mean? Like I said, growing up, I never got to see an NFL football player or got to receive any type of knowledge, you know what I mean, to how I could be more successful, you know what I mean, what's important for me while I'm in high school, any grade, 9th through 12th, how to respect, you know, my peers, how to respect my teacher, how to respect the principal, how to respect the school. I never got any knowledge of that. So, I mean, just me being able to get that back to them and give them that knowledge, and then their reaction of excitement and their energy, screaming out the Eagle chant, you know what I mean? I think that was beautiful. That was really nice.
So if you had an opportunity to go and create a program for younger kids, and that program was intended to foster a sense of community, I'm tossing you a tough one here.
Yeah.
What would you put into that program?
I would put a lot of. I would want to get a lot of leaders. You know what I mean? I would want to get a lot of people who will want to give these kids knowledge. 'Cause I think that's the biggest thing. You know, these kids nowadays, they don't have true knowledge of how to be successful. You know, they go to school. You know, of course, the teachers are going to do their job. They're going to teach the kids, you know, how they're supposed to. Not every student in that class is paying attention. Not every student cares about what their teacher's talking about. But if you have another outside group to where you can actually sit these kids down and tell them how they can be successful, you know, try to figure out what they actually like. You know what I mean? A lot of kids don't like math. A lot of kids don't like history. You know, they don't like science. They don't like literature. You know what I mean? Try to figure out what these kids really like, and then push them to what they like, because now you pushing kids to what they actually like, they're gonna get more involved. You know what I mean? They're not gonna not pay attention. You know what I mean? I feel like they're gonna be more successful.
Now, it's not lost on me. You talked about your foundation back at home.
Yeah.
So you do a lot in the city of Philadelphia and in the suburbs.
Yes, I do.
So let's talk a little bit about that and where you want to see that go, because you know, I think you've got a lot of partners that want to partner with you in the community. They recognize what a good guy you are. And Chris Long just coming off winning an award for being a good guy.
That was awesome.
I mean, talk about what a great honor, right? So as I look at what the benchmark is for being a good guy in the NFL, it's that Walter Payton Award, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So what's your goal? How can you do that in this city, and how can you ask people to help you to come out and make it, you know, Jalen Mills is the next Walter Payton candidate? I
think it's all about like I said, it's all about the youth. I mean, it's all about the youth. Whether it's you're at the best school in PA, New Jersey, or you're at the worst. You know what I mean? It's all about the kids. You know what I mean? We have to get these kids. We have to sit them down, and we have to make these kids successful, because at the end of the day, these are our future leaders. You know what I mean? We have our careers. Me and you have our career. You know what I mean? We have to get these kids. We have to figure out their careers. You just told me the ninth graders were the biggest class out of four different sections in the high school. Like that can't be acceptable. But that also goes with the adults that are teaching them, the adults that need to figure out what they want to learn, what they need to learn, how they need to learn. A lot of kids don't know how to learn. You know what I mean? Right. So I think that's one of the biggest things for sure.
Well, I may come back to you on that, and in a future show, I may ask you to come back and join some kids and talk a little bit with them, and have like a little, I don't want to call it a mentoring show, but I think it would be interesting to get perspectives from kids from different areas and see where they think they're missing the boat in their communities.
100%.
So we talked about your foundation. We talked about the community. We talked about adversity. One of the things that I think is a hot topic today, and we'll touch on it for a minute, and then we'll probably be going to break, and we'll come back to it, is today's political climate. And I'm not talking about Democrats and Republicans. To me, when I speak of the political climate, I'm talking a broader stroke, Americans, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all Americans.
Yep.
So the NFL players have been hugely criticized for positions that they've taken and we're not going to turn this show into a position as to what's happened in the past. Mm-hmm. What I'm interested in is, from a political perspective, what is your biggest concern?
Yeah. And I think this conversation kind of goes into me talking to Malcolm Jenkins. I think one of the biggest things that me and him we talk about is the criminal justice system. You know what I mean, you have a lot of times where you have these young kids make young kids mistakes. You know what I mean, and they go to jail. You know what I mean, and they do the time with probation, whatever they have to do, and once they get out, now they have this check mark by their name, and it's harder for them to get a regular job. It's harder for them to get in these better schools, and what do they convert back to? Doing the same exact thing. Now they're in this revolving circle of, oh, well, I can't get a job, so I'm gonna go back in the streets. I'm gonna go back doing whatever crime they did in the first place because they have no choice. They have a family to provide for. They want nice things. They want nice clothes, but they may have tried to go get a job. They may have tried to reach out to certain people to put themselves in better positions, but since they made a young kid mistake, they can't do it now.
Well, we're going to go on break, but when we come back, I want to stay with that topic. That's an important piece.
As we continue to answer the question, who is Jalen Mills? This is the Adam Malamut Show. Real people, real perspectives, real opinions. Back in a moment.